by the classic saying, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. But if a new camera comes out that's better, break it and replace it with a new one so you can justify to yourself the camera purchase. That saying has really not failed me. I am poor though. Well, these new cameras made me want to ditch my 4-year-old FX3. I'm going to answer that by the end of the video, but thank you so much for tuning in. Let's talk about some new cameras hitting the market and why I'm not convinced I should ditch my setup and start over, essentially, with these new cameras. Make sure to like and subscribe because honestly, I don't get paid for these videos, so with you subscribing, it makes me motivated to continue to make these. Today, we're going to be talking about the Nikon Z7 Red/Nikon's first collaboration camera, the Canon EOS 650, a close competitor to the FX3 price-wise, and the extremely overpriced Red Raptor XE. Plus, I'll reveal a secret camera towards the end of this video that I actually already pre-ordered. So let's dive in and stick around to the end. Honestly, it feels like we're in the golden age of cinema today. Not content-wise, but whenever it comes to camera technology, we are. Today, you can write, shoot, and edit and produce with cameras that instantly deliver an incredible image. Even for the average consumer, the only thing holding them back between the best gear is how much time someone's willing to put into the pre-production. But honestly, with every new camera comes a downside. That being a filmmaker is, getting harder and harder. It's becoming more accessible for anyone to just buy a camera and get into the game. I just got an email from a client saying that they want to update the song for the video we did like 3 months ago. Do you remember the name of that website?
No.
Is it like Tune Music?
Were you talking to me?
Okay, I'm really sorry to interrupt, but I can't figure it out. Okay.
It's Music Bed.
It's not Music Bed at all. I will Google just to say that I did, but it's definitely not. Musicbed.com. Sign up for my 2-week trial below. An example of how this industry is changing so much, I had a $26,000 Red Epic W, and I sold that camera and I bought 2 Red Komodos, which at the time completely revolutionized the filmmaking industry. And then I went and I saw the movie The Creator, which blew my brain how they can tell such cinematic stories with just crazy small cameras. So the industry is just constantly changing and you have to constantly kind of just be adapting to what's going on. Okay, so this is Nikon's first actual hybrid collaboration camera. It records R3D, and I think it also shoots an R3D NE, which is Nikon's RAW format for like maximum flexibility in post. It has strong IBIS, great dynamic range, and a compact body. I think in a lot of ways, Nikon hasn't really proven themselves in the video world. Red has, but I get kind of nervous knowing that this is their like literal first collaboration camera. I don't know if there's gonna have like overheat issues, and whenever you're shooting in R3D, those file sizes are massive. So you have to really take into consideration that you're gonna have to be buying more hard drives to be able to accommodate for these R3D files because they are not small, unfortunately, for you. And I think another thing that I'm kind of worried about with this camera is the low light performance. With the FX3, I know that I can just trust it. So if I'm in my base ISO of 12,800, I could just put a little bit of noise reduction and I know that that image is going to give me something that is essentially workable in the dark. I think the 4-inch monitor on the back is pretty nice, but I always use a 7-inch monitor anyway with my cameras. So for the price, it is a strong option, but it's not enough for me to be like, okay, I think I'm just gonna ditch my whole Sony setup for this camera that is fairly new in a camera brand that is unproven. Also, are you guys on Instagram? If so, give me a follow and let's connect over there. The Canon EOS C50, I mean, it sounds pretty fun. I think it's kind of funny that the top handle looks pretty similar to the Sony one, but I'm gonna be honest guys, I've never really loved Canon. I shot weddings on Canon cameras for years and I just don't like the brand. I don't like their color science, you know, it just doesn't really click with me. Sure, I mean, it has open gate, but I've never once had a client ever ask me to shoot an open gate. If a client asks for vertical cuts, I just shoot with wider lenses and I use frame lines on my monitor, okay? I feel like people get so bummed that not every camera has open gate. It also doesn't have IBIS, which is kind of a deal breaker, and I'm guessing that you're gonna need some kind of clunky cooling attachment too, because there's no built-in fans, and I'm sure Tilta is going to announce it in a week and then ship out that attachment in 3 months. And yes, that is a jab at Tilta. And Canon glass, man, it's overpriced. Okay, so sue me, I'm sorry, I'm not a fan of Canon. I mean, what do you guys think of these cameras? I'd love to know your thoughts. Leave a comment below, and also follow me on Instagram because I'm only using Instagram and YouTube nowadays. Okay, this one is pretty sick. All right, the Red Raptor XE. On paper, this thing is a beast. You have 8K, global shutter, 17 plus stops of dynamic range, but here's my issue with Red. Their color science. Even the sample footage on their website, you can see it looks kind of rough. And the file sizes are enormous. When I used to own my Red, 85% of the time I would shoot all my videos in ProRes 422, not R3D, because hard drives were just literally eating my budget alive. With the FX3, I buy new drives maybe twice a year, and Red cameras burn through power. So I feel like with Red cameras, it feels like it's kind of a computer with a sensor. I mean, even the boot up time, guys, it takes 30 seconds to turn the camera on. I mean, don't get me wrong, the global shutter is awesome for handheld, but for indie filmmakers, I don't know if it's the right fit. I mean, guys, one Red camera costs the same. I mean, depending on which one you get, but this Red Raptor XE, you could buy 4 FX3s. I mean, I just think it's more valuable to have more cameras than to have like one amazing camera, because as storytellers, I like to get different perspectives while I'm shooting, especially if I'm shooting like interviews with a client. So yeah, I just don't know if it's the right fit for me. I think unless you're like building a visual world in post, like with studios, and you're shooting in 8K and really using that to build your whole VFX world, I think it's more trouble than it's worth. Okay, time for the reveal. It's the iPhone 17 Pro. Yeah, seriously. You can shoot ProRes RAW with this camera, which I think is pretty crazy. And that ProRes RAW means is that you can tweak certain camera aspects after you're done shooting. That you can change the ISO, you can change the white balance, and a few other things. And I think another thing that is seriously amazing with this iPhone is that the screen hits 3000 nits. It's perfect for pull and focus during the day, and I already use my phone as a monitor whenever I'm shooting with a smaller FX3 setup. And all 3 cameras this year seem to have an upgrade of 48 megapixels. So video should improve across the wide and telephoto lenses. I don't think that the main camera is going to be that much of an upgrade, but the ProRes RAW for me is enough for me to really want to dive into this. And I think whenever I'm shooting with the kind of more condensed setup, having the iPhone as a monitor for my FX3, I just like how light it is. The iPhone is so light, and sometimes whenever I'm running a monitor, it gets kind of heavy, especially using my iPhone as a monitor whenever I'm flying with my Ronin. It just is literally the perfect fit. So being able to have that 3000 nits of brightness outside is going to be a game changer. And honestly, let's see if this vapor chamber does anything, because sometimes whenever I used to shoot on ProRes with my iPhone 15 Max, it would overheat. So let's see if they can fix that with this fancy new little vapor chamber. Oh yeah. So I know what you're thinking, why stick with the Sony Fx3? It's been 4 years. I think it's time for you to upgrade your videos. But here's the thing, I'm just deciding to stay loyal to the fact that this camera has amazing low light performance, and I am constantly switching between the high and low base ISO with one button, which I love. The IBIS is killer and the rolling shutter is amazing on this camera. The native glass, I mean, I have so much native glass now and I just don't want to have to sell all those lenses and start over. And I just love the Sony autofocus. And the codecs for this camera just works so well in DaVinci Resolve. You know, I really love the weight and flexibility. It's light enough to shoot all day and, you know, your image is still gonna look super cinematic with this tiny camera. You can instantly turn the camera on and it's ready to go, unlike the unfortunate Red camera, which takes like 30 seconds. Guys, thank you so much for watching. Hit the little like button so this video can hit the algorithm. And if you guys want to see a breakdown of one of my recent shoots, hit this video here or wherever it's going to be on the screen. Oh yeah, and don't forget to subscribe.